Yes. Uh, there's more than 700 bases of the United States military. Yeah. And I know that in the United States we have a Department of Transportation. Yeah. And I just wondered of all those bases, right? There's all the bases on foreign soil. Yeah. Could you get me the Department of Transportation of each of those nations? And then I just wondered, are we the only nation that has a Gwen Tower system? And then there's the emergency broadcasting system. Let's say I was on any base outside of the United States and I had an emergency. Well, 700 bases on foreign soil. Now, there's a growing movement to make that number smaller from the Okinawans who protested U.S. presence in 1970. Yes. This is quite an article because when I think about sewing in, I know other nations would probably ask themselves, well, if the United States pays or spends, yes, top 10 in military spending, 711 billion. China, a distant second, then Russia, United Kingdom, so on and so forth. Yep. We are spending a tremendous amount of money in other nations. Yep. Now, could you get me all of those that are on TRICARE? Mm. See, I don't understand how it's possible that the United States of America's military would allow for any judge to play God. Now, that oath of office that says that you do support and defend the Constitution for all of those elected to office, when we're spending $700 billion with 700 different bases in foreign soils, yes, how is it possible that no one is supporting and defending the Constitution? I just wanted to know, is there some sewing technology that I'm not aware of that is on foreign soil? Yes, that we wouldn't have seen. Now, for every base that we have overseas, right, in 2008, 711 billion. And then this was 10 years ago. Um, do they have a Department of Transportation? What do you say we find all the foreign soil bases? And then they talk about in this article that we have certain bases that are actually on the ocean someplace. I know it seems, well, there seems to be, yes, some sewing problems where you're going to allow for, well, just get me the last 10 years of every individual in the United States military since 2008 that was on a foreign base in a foreign nation where you could have sewed into them because the Marines didn't realize how the technology works. Now I know there's what's known as PTSD. Oh. And then there's TRICARE. Yeah. Let, well, let's say that you as a foreign nation decided you had your own Department of Transportation and your own Gwen Tower system and your own emergency broadcasting system and just so happened that when on a military base or in those nations you decided to sew in, it would be a big surprise to the United States. And I'm not trying to actually point the finger at any nation of the world. Pooh. See, when I was in Japan, mhm, I flew from Guam to Japan and then Japan to Seattle. My Aunt Lori picked me up and she said, Target acquired. It's an odd thing to say to a nephew, as if I were the target of some sort of animosity or hatred. Yes, the only American citizen that could not be on anybody. Well, there's this thought, yes, that when I was in Japan, because it was a really very good experience, that there were certain corporations that actually wanted control of the world. And one of the ways they could do it, yes, is they could sew in without the military knowing it so that corporations would have Well, just give me all the foreign soil bases and every person in uniform since 2008, and I just want to do a little comparison of this. How much sewing is there in PTSD? Hmm. Somehow I think that people's brains are being messed with in such a way that the trauma of war could be significant decreased if they didn't have the sewing. Get me all of those that have been diagnosed with post traumatic stress disorder. Yes, General. What do you know?